Welcome back to Against My Better Judgment, the podcast where two friends,
I'm Tamara Golden.
And I'm Dannelle Whiteside, tell the truth, share the lessons, and laugh about the moments that we knew better, but didn't anyway. Each week, we share real stories about our lives, about the times that life surprised us, stretched us, or just straight up humbled us, and the lessons that we learned along the way.
And this season, we're discussing with you how we do ships. And today, we're going to learn from Dannelle with regards to how we do mentorship.
Yes, I can't wait to dive into that conversation. But before we do, how's your week been?
You know, it's been one of those weeks, a week of fun. I had the opportunity to speak on a panel with, so shout out to Nashville School of Law. So a panel about various careers you can have as an attorney and how those careers you can pivot and, you know, things to look out for. So it was always fun to hang out and speak with, and they were 1Ls.
Oh, okay. So bright-eyed, ready to face the world.
Absolutely. And to feel like you actually had something to share. And it just made me reflect on, man, has this 20 plus years as an attorney been packed with so many. I was just shocked at how many things I've done using a JD. So, yeah.
Well, I had a good week this past weekend, actually. My kids were coughing and sniffling. So we didn't go to, we're good. We didn't go to church on Sunday. And so I was able to clean up a certain portion in my room that has been perpetually, like, there were so many dust bunnies in there. I mean, they were hopping around. So I just feel so much better. You know, like when I walk in the room now, I'm like, it's just so much better for my mental health. Like, I just feel so good. So I cleaned off my dresser.
I'm gonna give you a pat on the back.
Thank you. I did work. So it was good, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and I think of cleanliness and, well, really more organization. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, like, before you came, there's so many things I want. Like, organization is my world. I just thrive off of it. It makes me feel good, and when it's not in order, it messes with me.
Yeah,
like it just messes with me.
I will say I used to be that way, and then I got married, and when you can't control someone else, not to say my husband is messy, but he wasn't as orderly and tidy as I was used to. And it just kind of made me be like, well, you know, what's the point? And then when I had kids, oh my goodness, it was like, what's the point? Because, you know, you can put toys away 30 million times and they're always going to take them out. And so I will say that my orderliness and tidiness has definitely diminished over the years. And, you know, I didn't notice how much it affected me until it was clean. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can breathe again. So like, I really need to, you know, do more of that.
No, I love it. So yeah, let's jump right into mentorship.
Yes. So I have a couple of things that I want to talk about with respect to mentorship.
Okay.
You know, I have over my life, I call it a personal board of directors, people that I can call for certain things. Like there are people that I talk to, you know, for advice about career navigation, for advice about health, for advice about parenting, marriage, you know. So I feel like I have this personal board of directors, and I will say that I've really been blessed with some really amazing mentors. And so I wanted to spend time talking about my mentors and what made them so special to me and what has made them so special to me first. And then I will talk about what it means to be a good mentor and then what it means to be a good mentee. So that's kind of the framework that I'm going to take in this conversation. So, you know, first of all, when I think about mentors, I really have to start with my mother because, you know, she's just done a lot of teaching. And I really feel like that is the base of mentorship is teaching. And if we think about this framework of like, what is a ship and being committed to moving forward, your mentor is committed to helping you move forward. And so that first model of mentorship is with my mom. Just the ways that I've observed her over the years and how she's navigated challenges, the way that I saw her be a parent, the way that I saw her mentor other people.
Is it more reflective, or if it's not reflective, like when did you know, like, my mom's one of my primary mentors?
I think it is a look back. Like, when you're in it, when you're growing up as a kid, you're like, this woman is constantly bossing me around. She's always telling you what to do. She doesn't want me to have fun, so you can't see it when you're a kid. But when you grow up and you see things, you actually see them as humans, then you kind of see where the mentorship is. And so that's where I would start. Then when I was in high school, my principal was a mentor of mine. And, sometimes mentors are the ones that, sit you down and talk to you, important to you. But other times there are people that you observe and you kind of like you figure out like the things about them that you're like, oh, I feel like I could do that, or I like how they did that. And so, but she was a little bit of both. She would, I was an office assistant my senior year, so I saw her a lot, and I saw kind of how she led and how she inspired students, and, how much she just took an interest in me as a person. And so, she wrote my college letters of recommendation. She wrote a letter of recommendation for me to join my sorority. So she was just always the person that I knew at the time in my life who was a positive influence on me as a mentor. And then when I was an undergrad, there was another woman by the name of Dorothy Holt, and she was the person who everybody was in her office. Like she wore so many hats. She taught a couple of my classes, but then also she ran a program that I was involved in. But more than anything, you could go to her and sit in her office and talk to her about your challenges. It was always a good time because she knew all the good gossip. But then when it was time for me to go to the next level, like go to law school, she wrote my letters of recommendation. I will call her to this day and just talk to her about just random things. And so I'm highlighting people who were just really, they invested in me without really anything in return, and I think that's another hallmark of a good mentor.
Any thing about a bad mentor?
I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
And then, when I went on to law school, the dean of the law school, God, I feel like God has just placed me with people who just, poured into me. And so the same thing, I ended up being her assistant. She was also a member, and everybody that I've just mentioned is all a member of my sorority too.
Here we go.
My mom, all the way to this.
I mean, irrelevant.
It is relevant because it's the connection, and an investment that they have in you. You have a shared interest. So anyway, and she, when I went for jobs, she would recommend me for things. And then as I went throughout my career, like my boss that hired me for the university that I work in now, she was intentional about, hey, I see leadership in you, and I'm going to put you in these organizations and, give you access to these professional development opportunities. And I see where you're headed in your life, and I want to help you get there. So it's those people who say, like, I see where you're going, and I'm going to do what I can to help you move forward on your path. They really put their capital on the line, and they put their name on you in rooms that you're not in. They are people that you can go to and help you consider different decisions and weighing pros and cons. And so, like I said, I've just always had people who were willing to do that for me. So I don't know that I won't call this bad mentorship, but one time I was around a woman and I saw a lot of great qualities in her, and I asked her if she would be my mentor. And we set up probably monthly breakfasts or calls, and it was a significant investment of her time to talk with me. But I really feel that me being proactive and asking for mentorship was not as organic, and it didn't result in a long-term sustained relationship over time. And so there was something that was organic in the other mentorships that I described, because they formed just out of like them choosing me instead of me choosing the person. And I think that not being organic just affected the quality of the relationship, even though like she's still someone that I can reach out to now, but I don't think she was as invested. Like the people that I described, they will reach out to me and say, hey, I haven't heard from you. How are things going? And, she's not necessarily how I would describe that.
Yeah, and I can see that, but I also, and I'm thinking more of a different lens, is like in corporate America and being a mentor to a lot of different folks, I do think that there is a point when mentorship can end. And I do think mentors can help you get to X place. And then I do think it's a point to where it can end. I think the long-term mentorships, I think of those when they're long-term like that, almost growing into a sponsorship. So I think...
What do you see the difference?
The difference between mentorship and sponsorship is when it comes to a mentor, for me, a mentor is I can come to you ugly. Like I could come not know how to present a certain ask of a leader, or I can come to you with a certain question that I can just be very, very vulnerable, and you help me to navigate situations. When someone is your sponsorship, they know you. Either they were your mentor at some point or are, but they know you to where not when there's a conversation, not only do they bring your name into the conversation, they can actually bring you into the room. And so a sponsorship, some of what you're describing as a mentorship started as, but I'm almost hearing that it has turned into a sponsorship. Yeah. Whereas a mentor, I've always been very observant and aware of, okay, this mentorship is going to end at X, something identified. It doesn't have to be that way, but I think that's always how I've differentiated the two, because you'd have like 700 mentors all the time, like, or mentees is kind of how I think of it. But nonetheless, I think the point's the same. Yeah.
And I guess under that paradigm, then, I was describing sponsors because they stuck their neck out for me, write letters of recommendation, pick up the phone. Like one of my former president, I texted her the other day because I was trying to get in touch with someone who would help me as a participant in my dissertation as an interviewee. And I had sent him an email and he hadn't responded yet. And so I was like, hey, this man, can you nudge him to respond to my email? And she must have done it because within like 30 minutes, his assistant was emailing me saying, hey, we'll schedule a time. So, people who are willing to, like you said, get you in rooms, that is so invaluable. Yeah. And so,
but I do, before you leave, getting in rooms on the mentorship and good mentors, I do remember another example, and I'm thinking of Miss Peggy Walker in high school, and the difference between, you're saying not necessarily a bad mentor and a good one, but I'll give a good example of a bad one and a good one. Miss Peggy Walker had nothing to gain. She worked in the guidance office at the front desk. She had zero to gain in her investment in me. And she really did. She became someone that I admired. And when it came time for college, she ran off copies of course, I went all in. I made these packets to send to colleges, and they were like books. And she made the copies for me. Not only that, the university that I really end up wanting to go to, I just didn't see a way in for me. I just didn't see, and I ended up going there and playing ball there, but she knew Carol Griffin. She reached out to him. At the time, his daughter played on the basketball team. She got me a visit there last minute. Like, she did all these things for me, And it was thankless.
Yeah.
I mean, it was totally thankless, and there was nothing in it for her. And then I think of a mentor as an adult. I've had a mentor that when I say a bad mentor, they want what you're going for. And to me, I'll never forget, I got asked, someone approached me for a promotion in my company, just out of the blue. I was shocked, and I said yes. Well, I couldn't tell anybody. My boss didn't even know. So I had to keep it very tight. And lo and behold, when it came out, it came out. It had nothing to do with me. I didn't know it had come out when it came out. And my mentor was offended that I didn't tell her. And so I think you also have to make sure that your mentor wants what's in your best interest. And it's always nice when they don't really have, you can usually identify one when they're doing things for you and they have nothing to gain from it.
Yeah. So I think being a good mentor is the same. Like, you have to see there are people in your life who come into your life for whatever reason. And when I have been a mentor to other people, it's something. I can't describe it, but it's like something that I see in them that I know they have what it takes to be successful. And all I want to do is just help.
Yep.
And so in whatever way that I can, like I usually just have like I feel like I always have one person, every year, especially working at a university, that I'm like, okay, I'm going to help you. So one of my mentees now is in law school. She's finishing up her first year. Super proud of her. Another one of my mentees is, working at a very prominent university. All these people that I now, like, I'll check in on them, but my only purpose is just to help them get to their next step.
Yep.
And so I think that is what you need to just be a good mentor, is just see someone who, is on their way, and then figure out what you can do to help them to be on their way. And then in terms of being a good mentee, there are responsibilities on both sides of that relationship.
Absolutely.
Have your stuff together, because usually when you have a mentor, they're very busy. And so when I had that very structured mentor relationship, I had like 3 bullet points that I might want to ask her about and talk to her about. I had a very clear goal in mind of the interaction and, what I needed advice on. When, my mentors had time, made their time available, I was on time and prepared. I wasn't trying to waste their time. And I also extended gratitude, because while they are not in it for anything other than just being invested in my success, they don't have to be. And understand that no one has to be good to you.
Correct.
They don't owe you anything. And so when they do give you their time, which is a non-renewable resource, you should be grateful to them and show them that gratitude in whatever ways that you can.
No, I think that's spot on. I mean, you nailed the mentee piece. And even if it's organic, just making sure that mutual respect is there as the mentee, and that you're focusing on whatever the goal is. That's why I'm like, mentorship should come to an end, but you can't be really willy-nilly when you're meeting with your mentor. Love it.
All right, well, we're gonna turn to we'll be the judge segment, where we give our qualified yet unqualified opinion. And I have a letter from this person, did not give their name.
Okay.
So, but it's funny. Hey, Tamara and Dannelle, I need a quick ruling. I get invited to a lot of things: birthday dinners, baby showers, network events, church events, neighborhood things. None of them are bad. None of them are toxic. I just don't want to go. I work all week. My weekends feel short. Sometimes I just want to be in my house in leggings with no bra and no small talk. But then I feel guilty, like I'm going to be the friend who never shows up. Is it okay to decline invitations simply because I don't feel like it? Or is that how friendships quietly die?
It sounds like you're just over 40. It's like, I'm really excited about going somewhere until it's time to go. I'm like, if you cancel on me, I'm like,
thank you, God.
I have to cancel this time. Oh my gosh. So no, in all seriousness, because you're asking the question, you're probably responding in a way that you're not comfortable with yourself. So, I've always said that no is a complete sentence acceptable answer. However, this is where I'm going to come down on it. If your no is no, then you don't really owe me an explanation. But if you want to foster a relationship and an interaction, if you want to foster a friendship, which is what you can have a lot of friends, but if you want to foster a friendship, your no cannot always be no. And I have a feeling that your no, maybe you describe what you want to do. You get off work, you put on your leggings, you put on a shirt, you just want to stay in the house. Making sure that your no isn't something else, a different underlying cause. Like, are you going through SAD, like seasonal affect disorder? Is your mental health at a good place? Is it uncharacteristic? Are you now saying no uncharacteristically? I would kind of check on those things first, because if you're being invited to a lot of things, that tells me that there was a point to where you were saying yes a lot. Or are you just different? Like, are you not investing in things that you feel are a waste of time? Are you finally saying no to things that you don't want to go to another 2-year-old birthday party? Like, are you saying no to people who can't ever say yes to you? So you need to think through your reason for saying no, and make sure you also identify your mental health, because one of my friends actually sent me this quote this week, and it was Maya Angelou, and I may mess up part of it, but the gist of the quote was, do not prioritizing people that see you as an option. That might be what you're doing. My whole thing with most things is process it, get some sort of understanding, sit with it, and then move on. But some of that, it might just be, that's just part of people of a certain age. So don't beat yourself up about it.
Because sometimes when I get in the bed, I'm like, ooh, I'm so excited.
I can't wait. I can't wait. You can't wait for what?
Girl, to get in this bed. Oh my goodness. I totally understand, especially, you didn't describe like if you have responsibilities like family, and that sort of thing. But I know for me, listen, I'm okay to be in the house. And you can literally run yourself ragged.
Absolutely.
And so if you are finding yourself just too tired to do anything, you might need to let some things off your plate. And it's okay. Rest is sacred. You need it. Even God rested on the 7th day. So don't think you can run around here and not rest. And, but it's okay to say no. Yep. And you don't owe anybody any explanation, but I think people would understand, like, hey, I'm just really tired, guys. I can't be there tonight. And, preserve your time. It's okay. Because let me tell you, a good nap is always a good thing.
Oh, jeez.
So.
But hey, the flip side is, you're getting invited to stuff now. What we don't want to hear is this message that you send us in a few months talking about, oh, so-and-so, I don't get invited to anything and I can't. So just know that every single action has a consequence.
It does, but outside is always open. So you can always dip your toe. You might have to do a little work of cultivating relationships that you let grow cold, but it's always something outside. It is.
Oh, that is so true. I'm outside so much.
Outside is always open. It's always going to be something you can get into. So don't think you're going to miss out. Telling somebody no here or there to birthday dinner, baby shower, networking, like all those things keep coming. You still going to be on the listserv of this networking event. Church is going to be there. They might miss you 1 or 2 times, but you'll come back. Get your rest, girl.
Oh my gosh.
Life is short.
Oh my gosh. That is so true.
Yeah. All right.
I felt like you went off just then.
I mean, because this is my life. There are times when I get invitations, people are so kind to extend invitations, and I'm just like, I don't have it. Yeah. And and I'm always weighing how much time I spend outside of the home without my children. Mm-hmm. And I'm always kind of like in a debt. Mm-hmm. Like I'm always counting like, okay, if I take away from them, how much can I add back in later? And so sometimes I'm just not willing to give that up.
That's fair.
You know, like a friend of mine invited me to see the Backstreet Boys in July, and I'm like, okay, but that means I won't be with the kids, and you know, I want to.
Easy note. It would have been against your better judgment to go see the Backstreet Boys.
No, I love the Backstreet Boys, child. Yes, I would have. I want to see them, but I also want to be with my kids. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
To the Against My Better Judgment.
Well, this was a good segue into Against My Better Judgment, actually. Just saying no. So now I'm starting to, it was against my better judgment I felt then, but now maybe not. But for me, I was, it was my first year out of law school, and one of my dear friends, Alicia Lemkel, now Alicia Crawford, got married. Mm-hmm. And this was, I always tell folks that I've been in 13 weddings. Isn't that crazy? Like in them. Well, this was one that I happened to be invited to, which is rare because I'm usually in them. And it was a destination wedding. And again, she was a dear friend from college. But I just could not, I didn't go. And the reason that I didn't go is because it just wasn't in the budget. I just did not have the money to go. And the reason it was against my better judgment, the reason I'm saying it now, is because it was such a big occasion. And it comes up every once in a while in my psyche of, I didn't go to that wedding. And so, you know, at the time it wasn't in the budget. Hindsight is, the reality is I didn't sacrifice things in my budget to go. Yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And so I think when making decisions, although I gave myself an excuse to make myself feel good that it wasn't in my budget, but because I'm still thinking about it, every once in a while it'll pop up. She'll come on my Instagram feed or something like that, and it'll pop up like, I didn't go to that wedding. And she's never missed a beat at all. But that's just one of those things that I'll just say, as we go through life, there are certain things, certain occasions, certain reasons, and you have to know this about me. I love celebrating people. I just really think that we're not celebrated enough. We don't celebrate each other enough. Mm-hmm. And when you identify those just things that are just the biggies, and for me, my friends getting married are the biggies.
I'm going to tell you something, though. Hopefully it'll let you off the hook.
Go ahead.
As someone who had a wedding, planned a wedding, you look for the times when somebody says, hey, I can't come. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Really?
Yes, because 9 times out of 10, it's somebody else waiting in the wings that you wish you could have invited, but you have already extended all your invitations, and you saying you can't come. It's like, okay, good, I can now invite such and such.
I never thought about it that way.
I'm gonna tell you, there's only like, the only people that I would have been torn up if they didn't come was any of my bridesmaids, mm-hmm. which actually one of my bridesmaids didn't come because she had a baby the day before. So I wasn't torn up about that because I love my goddaughter to this day. But, or any of my immediate family, anybody else, if they had called and said I can't come, I would have been like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna tell you.
And I think that's good for you, but I think you got to know what you'll feel.
Yes.
But I think if you think that if you're a person who really likes to celebrate folks, and you have identified, like, I hate to say this, but key funerals that you need to be at for your friends, key moments, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's one of those key moments that now I know. Like,
yeah, you know, and I get why you would say that. Yeah. I get why you would say that. I've never missed someone's wedding that I'm in their life. Like, I know there have been a couple people from college who got married and invited me, and I was like, I can't come. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But if you're invested in, like, if you're in a deep relationship with someone, you know, there is an expectation that you will be there for those pivotal moments. And so I understand why you feel like, you know, you feel
I wish I
a
had
little bit of regret.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, she's probably not thought about it any day after
And
that.
it feels like she hasn't.
Yeah. Because you're still in her I'm assuming you're still in her life, and, it's okay. Like, she's moved on, and she probably doesn't even remember, like it's so. I just wanted to help you give yourself a little grace for that.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
So that's my that would be my big against my better judgment. But again, I could have sacrificed the reality is owning it is I did not sacrifice resources.
Yeah.
That wasn't important enough to me at that time.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So,
well, what are we taking away from this conversation?
I think a lot. This is actually kind of a loaded one, just because the difference between mentorship and sponsorship, and regardless whether you're the mentor or the mentee, owning that space, respecting that space and respecting that time. Also, I even think about this is a theme that comes up a lot with us, and that saying no, being a complete sentence, it just speaks to the fact that so many of us we struggle a lot with saying no and taking care of ourselves. So.
Yep. I mean, I am going to just take this time to just express my extreme gratitude for anyone who's ever served as a mentor in my life. I absolutely would not be where I am today without it. It has been so transformational for who I have become and where I'm going to end up going. And so be a good mentor if you're in that position, and also be a good mentee if you're in that position. And then be okay with protecting your time.
Absolutely.
Even in the mentor-mentee relationship, it's a way to, if you find somebody who's not at all protective of the time that you're giving them as a mentor, don't spend your time there.
No.
And so in the same, if you can't go to that baby shower, don't. Hey. It's okay. They're still having the baby.
That's what RSVP's for.
You can send diapers. Right. They really want that more than they want you at the shower. I guarantee you that, as someone who's experienced it. So anyway, this has been a really great conversation. Yeah. And if you want us to judge you and your pajamas and staying at home, send us an email at againstmybetterjudgment@gmail.com, or on Facebook and Instagram at Against My Better Judgment Pod.
Yeah, and we enjoy speaking with you all week after week. So please like us, heart us, leave us a comment. And if there are any stars, give us 5 of them.
5.
So we appreciate y'all, and we'll be back next week.
All right.
Take
care.
Bye, y'all.